Jason looked like shit. So I decided to go looking for him. I helped him over to the medic.
Relax, come sit down.
I'm fine. All right.
You don't really sound all right.
No way.
Hell's Kitchen is known for shouting, pressure, and plates flying across the kitchen, but sometimes the danger goes far beyond bad cooking or hurt egos. Behind the chaos and competition, there are moments when things become real and very frightening. These are the moments when the stress of the kitchen pushes the human body too far, when contestants don't just lose challenges, but also their ability to continue at all.
The stress of everything basically shut my body down. The gist of the whole thing is I won't be back.
Over the years, Hell's Kitchen has seen chefs collapse, struggle to breathe, and be rushed out of the kitchen for emergency medical care. In some cases, production had no choice but to step in and call for help. These weren't dramatic exits planned for television, but real emergencies that sometimes stopped production. One of the earliest and most emotional examples came in Season 3. Long before later seasons raised the intensity even higher, one chef's body simply couldn't keep up with the pressure. His name was Aaron Song. Aaron Song was a 48-year-old chef from Rancho Palos Verdes, California, when he entered Hell's Kitchen Season 3 in 2007. He had years of experience cooking in retirement homes and later as head chef and owner of his family's restaurant, The Tea House, where he fused Pan-Asian flavors and entertained diners with both food and personality. On Hell's Kitchen, Aaron made an impression with his cooking and an equally memorable personality. He showed flashes of creativity with his dim sum dish, which drew some positive comments from Ramsay, and his unusual cowboy-themed outfit that earned him the nickname Asian Cowboy. Gordon Ramsay even jokingly called him a chunky monkey at one point, highlighting Aaron's lighthearted charm. But behind the jokes and friendly attitude, Aaron was struggling. He had diabetes, a chronic health condition that can make physical stress much harder to handle, especially in a high-pressure kitchen environment. And as the competition heated up, his health began to visibly suffer. Aaron's time on Hell's Kitchen showed a mix of vulnerability and determination. In early challenges, he struggled to keep up with the fast pace. During a breakfast challenge in Episode 3, while attempting to help his team prepare dozens of omelets, he repeatedly burned omelets, drawing Ramsay's criticism. Both teams ultimately lost that challenge to the red team. He also had emotional moments that stood out on camera, including an early service where Aaron was seen crying after becoming overwhelmed by the pressure.
You're going white.
Chef, I don't want to quit because of me. I don't want to quit because of anybody. I don't want to quit because of the guys that are trying so hard. Everybody's trying really hard.
Relax.
It was a rare, vulnerable moment on a show known for fiery temperaments and brutal critiques. Many fans remember this as a sign that the pressure was affecting him on a deeper level than some of his competitors. Despite the challenges, Aaron showed bravery in staying in the competition as long as he could. But his health continued to decline as Hell's Kitchen pushed contestants to their limits. Aaron's health crisis came during a punishment task after the blue team lost a morning challenge. The punishment was intense: peel and prepare over 1,000 pounds of potatoes and onions. In the parking lot, chefs had to haul heavy produce without the help of machinery, pushing their bodies hard. As he worked, Aaron began to feel dizzy and weak. The strain was too much and he succumbed to the pressure and fainted right there on the ground. His teammates were alarmed and immediately called for help. Medics arrived and Aaron was placed on a stretcher and taken by ambulance to the hospital. The next day, Gordon Ramsay called him from the hospital. The message was kind but firm. Aaron would not be returning to the competition due to his poor health.
Chef Ramsay, I've worked all this time to come to this point to work for you.
I really appreciate you trying damn hard to get back here.
The bad news is you have a serious illness, the doctor's orders.
You cannot come back into this kitchen.
Ramsay emphasized that this was genuinely for Aaron's safety, not a decision based on cooking ability alone. Aaron did not return to the competition, but his connection with Hell's Kitchen didn't fully end there. He made later appearances in promotional segments and guest visits, showing up to give advice to new contestants and remind them, sarcastically and with heart, that there's no crying in Hell's Kitchen. After his Hell's Kitchen experience, Aaron continued to work as a chef and to share his love of food. He became known as a judge and mentor in local food events and made appearances at culinary demonstrations. He also worked with community organizations, such as teaching cooking to veterans and showing support for local food communities. Despite his career beyond the show, Aaron's health remained an ongoing battle. His diabetes, which had contributed to his fainting and medical withdrawal, continued to affect him. On November 30th, 2010, Aaron Song passed away at the age of 51 from complications related to diabetes. Today, Aaron Song remains one of the Hell's Kitchen chefs fans remember for both his cooking and his humanity. His running struggle with pressure, his tears, and his eventual collapse reminded viewers that reality TV contestants are real people with real challenges. Many fans talk about him as one of the kindest and most memorable characters in the early seasons. Aaron's story also sparked conversations among fans about how reality shows balance entertainment and contestant safety. Many believe the show should have noticed his health struggles sooner and intervened before he collapsed. With Aaron Song's health forcing him out of the competition and ultimately leading to his demise, this next contestant faced a similarly serious medical issue of his own, though not as critical. His journey became a story of struggle, self-reflection, and transformation. That chef was Robert Hessa, a larger-than-life personality who competed in Hell's Kitchen Season 5 and returned in Season 6. Robert Hessa first appeared on Season 5 of Hell's Kitchen in 2009. He was a sous chef from Quogue, New York, known for his bold personality, humor, and passion for food. From the start, Robert stood out. He brought energy, confidence, and an unmistakable presence to the kitchen that made him a fan favorite early on. During his initial run on the show, Robert impressed Chef Gordon Ramsay and his fellow contestants with his cooking skills more than once. He reached the final 5, demonstrating a strong performance that put him within reach of the top prizes and highlighted his potential as a leader in the kitchen. But health issues can spring up even in the most unexpected situations. Robert's journey took a dramatic turn after the contestants were flown to Atlantic City for a special challenge. During a certain dinner in episode 11, he began complaining of chest pains and was visibly uncomfortable at the dinner table. A local paramedic was called and recommended that he go to the hospital for evaluation.
What's going on right now?
Just having chest pain.
Chest pain? Okay. Pressure's elevated right now. It's 160 over 100. I would suggest that you may want to consider going down to the hospital.
He left the dining area and was taken to the hospital. After tests, doctors diagnosed him with pericarditis, a condition where the sac surrounding the heart becomes inflamed, often causing severe chest pain and fatigue. Due to medical advice and safety concerns, Robert was unable to continue in the competition. Chef Ramsay told the remaining chefs that Robert had put his heart and soul into the competition, but his health came first. What made this medical exit even more emotional for viewers was that Robert was more than just another contestant. He had formed bonds with his teammates and was genuinely seen as someone who could have gone further. When he left, he gave back his chef jacket and received a standing ovation from the remaining chefs, a rare moment of respect and unity amid the typical chaos of elimination. Because fans and production saw his potential, Robert was invited back for Season 6, and many viewers hoped this would be his chance to finish what he started. In his second run, he came in with more experience and confidence, ready to show that his culinary skills could match his personality. However, his return was not easy. Robert faced more pressure, tougher challenges, and unfortunately, lingering health concerns. During a grueling punishment that involved biking up a hill to gather ingredients, Robert began experiencing shortness of breath and chest pains.
I need to see a medic, man. I feel dizzy and like I'm gonna throw up.
I was concerned for Robert. He was panting and struggling, and it's never a good sign.
Okay, tell me, what's going on?
Short of breath. I feel dizzy, too.
Okay, try to stay calm for me. We need to send Robert to the hospital. Call 911.
Medics arrived and transported him to the hospital by ambulance. He did not participate in that night's dinner service while undergoing evaluation. However, this time, Robert returned from the hospital early in the episode. He informed Chef Ramsay that it was not a heart attack, but that he had been warned by doctors to monitor his limits. Though he didn't make it to the finale this time, Robert demonstrated growth and a stronger command of the kitchen compared to his first season. Still, many fans remember his Season 6 sacrifices and the emotional way he accepted his exit when health concerns resurfaced. After his time on Hell's Kitchen, Robert Hessa didn't disappear from the culinary world. In fact, his experiences on the show became a turning point for his life and career. Following Hell's Kitchen, Robert faced serious personal challenges, including multiple heart attacks. These health scares became a wake-up call. Determined to change his life, he underwent major lifestyle shifts, including weight loss surgery, such as a sleeve gastrectomy, which dramatically reduced his weight and improved his overall health. At one point, he had weighed nearly 500 to 600 pounds and later lost more than 200 pounds after surgery. With his improved health and renewed passion, Robert didn't just return to kitchens, he reinvented his culinary identity. He launched Faux Cheesy Twisted Melts, a popular food truck and later a physical restaurant in St. Pete Beach, Florida, specializing in gourmet grilled cheese and creative comfort foods. This venture allowed him to connect directly with his community and showcase his unique style outside the pressure cooker of reality TV. Today, Robert continues his culinary career and community work. He has worked as an executive chef in various restaurants, including 717 South Restaurant, and continues to participate in food events, podcasts, and public speaking, often sharing his story of overcoming adversity and encouraging others to value both their health and dreams. Robert Hessa's story showed that even strength, experience, and determination can be no match for serious health risks inside Hell's Kitchen. But this wasn't the first time the competition had to stop because a chef's body gave out. Years earlier, in the show's early days, Hell's Kitchen faced one of its first true medical emergencies. This was long before the chaos became routine and medics were a familiar sight on set. One chef's sudden collapse forced production to confront the reality, and that chef was Larry Sick. Larry was one of the chefs competing on Season 2 of Hell's Kitchen back in 2006. He wasn't one of the biggest personalities on the show, but his time on Hell's Kitchen is remembered for the health-related incident that changed the course of his life, becoming one of the earliest medical emergencies in the series' history. When Larry first stepped into Hell's Kitchen, he seemed like a quiet, steady cook. He was a fishmonger from Arlington, Texas, and he had a unique attitude that didn't always show itself in his cooking. On day one, contestants were asked to prepare signature dishes to show their style and skill. Larry's dish didn't wow the judges. The potatoes in his crab cakes were undercooked, and the resulting dish lacked finesse. His teammates and Ramsay noticed early that Larry didn't show the kind of passion or intensity they expected from a chef competing on a major television show. His team, the Blue Team, made up of 6 men, struggled with basic tasks in early services. There were moments when Ramsay called out Larry for seeming distracted or overly calm, even during busy moments. At one point, Ramsay told him to be more active and engaged because he looked like a statue during service. Even so, Larry didn't get nominated for elimination early, and in fact, he never lost a dinner service during his time on the competition. Still, it was clear that Larry was fighting an uphill battle in terms of performance. His steak-cutting attempts during one challenge were judged as the worst of the group, so he took part in punishment tasks like prepping steaks for dinner service. While the rest of his team worked together, Larry was ashamed of his performance and tried to isolate himself, showing how much pressure the competition was already putting on him mentally and physically. But everything changed in episode 2. After barely 2 hours of sleep, the chefs were ordered outside in the loading area early in the morning as part of an exercise ordered by Ramsay. Larry tried to push through the day, but by around 4:20 a.m., he began to feel very unwell. He started breathing hard, sweating, and feeling tingling sensations in his body, early signs that something was seriously wrong. At that point, Larry called the show medic and explained how he felt. Larry was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance after struggling to breathe and showing signs of physical collapse. This was not a dramatic edit for television. It was a real medical event. Production stopped and other contestants were left wondering what had happened as they prepared for the next service without him. The next morning, Larry phoned the other contestants from his hospital bed. He told them that his body had quit, not his spirit, and that he wouldn't be returning to the competition because of his health struggles. He then encouraged his former teammates to stay strong and work together. Ramsay didn't even give Larry the usual burning portrait goodbye or the jacket hanging ceremony that eliminated contestants normally receive. Instead, Larry's exit was simply marked by his medical departure. Following his exit from Hell's Kitchen, Larry eventually returned to his culinary roots, but his path took several twists. He became the executive chef at On Broadway, an Italian restaurant in Arlington, Texas, showing that his passion for food didn't end with his medical exit. Over time, he rebranded and began operating under the name Larry Ross, reflecting his personal and professional growth. Today, Larry Sick, now Larry Ross, is remembered by Hell's Kitchen fans for showing the human side of competition. While other contestants are eliminated for performance reasons, Larry's departure was a rare moment where health came first. After Larry Sick's health scare showed just how intense Hell's Kitchen can be, another contestant experienced a medical emergency that sent shockwaves through the very start of a season. His story didn't happen later in the competition. It happened before dinner service even began. That chef was Jason Zapala, a Chicago cook whose journey on Hell's Kitchen is one of the most unusual and inspiring in the show. Jason Zapala first appeared on Season 9 of Hell's Kitchen in 2011 as a line cook from Chicago. Jason seemed confident heading into the competition. He showed a creative streak and a solid understanding of flavor, and he impressed some of his teammates during early prep. But fate had other plans. In the Season 9 premiere, Episode 1, contestants were preparing for the first dinner service when something went horribly wrong. Jason started to feel dizzy, weak, and unable to catch his breath while prepping food. A teammate noticed and immediately got help from medical staff on set.
Relax, bro.
No, I'm getting like dizzy and shit.
Relax, bro. Stop, take a breath, bro. You know?
That's all I'm doing is breathing. I don't feel good at all.
Jason looked like shit. So I decided to go looking for him. I helped him over to the medic.
The medic put a breathing mask on him, but Jason was struggling badly. The situation was serious enough that production called an ambulance. Jason was taken to the hospital before the first service even started, a rare and unexpected turn for a show known more for drama than real danger. Gordon Ramsay informed the other chefs that Jason would spend a few days in the hospital and would not be returning to the competition. This made Jason's departure one of the earliest and quickest exits in Hell's Kitchen history. He didn't fail a challenge. He didn't lose the dinner service. He left because his body simply couldn't handle the intense pace and pressure at that moment. Even though he left so early, Jason showed potential in his short time. He didn't get nominated for elimination because there wasn't enough service to judge him. In fact, his departure made history. Jason became the first male contestant in the show's history to withdraw due to health reasons before the first dinner service. Despite the awkward exit, many viewers instantly liked Jason for his quiet skill and friendly personality. His early exit left fans wondering how far he could have gone had he stayed in the competition. But Jason's story didn't end there. 3 years after his medical withdrawal, Hell's Kitchen brought him back for Season 12, giving him a second chance to prove himself. In this season, he returned as a sous chef, having gained more experience in kitchens since his first appearance. This time, Jason didn't just survive, he thrived. He lasted through dozens of eliminations and intense dinner services, showing far more confidence, leadership, and culinary skill than in Season 9, which gave him practically zero opportunities to shine. Jason reached the final round of competition, ultimately finishing as runner-up behind the winner. That was a huge turnaround from his first attempt, and it made his story one of the most memorable redemption arcs ever recorded in Hell's Kitchen. He became one of the few chefs, if not the only chef, to return after a medical exit and perform even better the second time around. Fans celebrated his growth, from a chef who left one season prematurely to someone who nearly won it all on a future run. Since Season 12, Jason has continued building his culinary career. He worked in Chicago kitchens, often at Driftwood Inn, where his skills and personality made him a local favorite. He also became deeply involved in his family business, Zapala Wines, blending his culinary experience with his family's legacy in food and drink. In his post-show life, Jason balances time between cooking, wine, and hospitality. He still lives in Chicago and often shares updates about his work and life with followers and customers online. Jason's medical emergency was shocking, but the next contestant's story unfolds in a very different way. Kimberly Ryan, after her win, the Season 16 champion, faced a health crisis that would go on to shape much of her life beyond the kitchen. Kimberly Ryan entered Hell's Kitchen Season 16 as a talented and determined event chef from Traverse City, Michigan. She stood out for her calm leadership style and unwavering focus during challenges and dinner services. Throughout the season, she won multiple challenges and consistently delivered dishes that impressed both Gordon Ramsay and the guest judges. In the final episode, Kimberly faced off against Heather Williams in a series of intense tests, creating multiple courses in front of acclaimed chefs and executing a complete dinner service using her own team of previous competitors. Her performance under pressure demonstrated a blend of technical skill, creativity, and leadership, and Ramsay praised her ability to command a kitchen and showed confidence in her leadership. With her victory, she earned the traditional $250,000 head chef position, a life-changing opportunity many chefs dream of. But as her career progressed, life off-screen would prove even more challenging than flames on the line. After winning, Kimberly took on the head chef role at Yardbird in Las Vegas. Later, she'd return to her home state to lead the kitchen at the Cook's House in Traverse City. But outside of the kitchen, Kimberly faced significant personal and health battles. Years after her win, she began dealing with long-term effects of COVID-19, which she first contracted in March 2020. These complications included breathing issues, lung scarring, and a heart condition that eventually required open-heart surgery due to a patent foramen ovale, a hole in the heart she didn't know she had before the virus worsened her health. Even after her heart surgery in 2024 was reported as successful, her health remained fragile. As of February 24, 2025, Kimberly publicly announced she had been diagnosed with grade 3 metastatic ductal breast cancer, an aggressive form that had spread beyond the original tumor site. This diagnosis is not something that happened on Hell's Kitchen itself. It occurred years after she left the show, but it remains a major medical event in her life that many fans follow closely because of how serious and life-altering it is. Kimberly's battle with breast cancer is ongoing, and because it runs in her family, she has been very open about encouraging others to get regular mammograms and seek care early. After the show, Kimberly was open about facing serious personal struggles, including mental health challenges and addiction. She later shared that she survived a suicide attempt and committed herself to recovery, eventually celebrating long-term sobriety. By 2021, she marked an important milestone, staying sober while raising her young son, and began using her experience to support others through coaching and advocacy. As of 2025, Kimberly continues treatment for aggressive breast cancer while raising awareness about her condition. She married her fiancé Matt in March 2025, who has remained a steady source of support throughout her health journey. Though her medical situation has limited her ability to return to full-time restaurant leadership, she remains active in her community and is widely respected for her resilience beyond the kitchen.